If you sometimes have a hard time believing you'll ever come up with enough extra money to pay off all of your debts, rest assured, you're not alone. Between student loans, personal loans, car loans, credit card debts, and other common offenders, recent statistics show that the average American is now grappling with over $100,000 worth of outstanding debts. And $6,000 of that is with super high interest credit card debt. With interest rates on the rise, sometimes paying off debt can seem like an epic feat. Trust me, I get it, because I've been there. When my wife and I were newlyweds, we decided to set out on a quest to become debt-free. The only problem was that between the two of us, we found ourselves challenged with climbing out of a $50,000 hole. Not only were we able to reach our shared goal, but we picked up a lot of great lessons about money along the way. One piece of advice that I often find myself passing along to my coaching clients is that while paying off debt requires discipline, it also requires creating a solid strategy. In this video, I'm going to share 2 debt freedom strategies and compare them for you. Get ready for the debt snowball versus the debt avalanche. Hey everyone, this is Andy Hill from Marriage, Kids, and Money, a channel dedicated to helping you strengthen your family tree and live financially free. If you like what you hear today, please consider giving me the YouTube triple thanks. That's hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and then commenting something down below. Thanks so much. Okay, let's talk the debt snowball versus avalanche methods. The debt snowball method is a strategic approach to debt repayment that involves focusing on paying off your smallest debts first. You then target your next smallest debt, and so on until you are debt-free. The debt avalanche method involves paying off whichever debt has the highest interest rate first. Then you shift your focus to the one with the next highest interest rate until all your debts are effectively wiped out. Now, which is the best to pay? Well, the truth is there's no wrong answer. In the end, it may come down to anything from personal preference to which strategy feels the most manageable for you in your financial situation. We'll explore both strategies as we go along, but first, let's take a look at the key ingredient that both the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods have in common. In order for either of the snowball or the avalanche methods to work, you first need to line up your metaphorical team players. Yes, it's going to be impossible to create a winning playbook until you understand exactly what you're working with. The secret to both the snowball method and the avalanche method is paying more than your monthly minimum payment on one debt at a time. I know, coming up with extra funds isn't always easy, but the terrible truth is that while making your minimum monthly payments may help keep your credit report afloat, it's doing little to improve your financial health in the long run. This is often particularly true in the case of credit cards. Simply making low monthly payments while continuing to ring up more debt is a recipe for staying trapped in an endless debt cycle. Whether you decide to tackle your debts with the debt snowball method, the debt avalanche, or pretty much any other debt repayment plan, the first step is getting clear about how much you owe and how much interest you're paying. It's time to get a clearer picture of your debt. Your first task will be to create a list of all your debts. Now, for the sake of this example, let's imagine you come up with the following list. A credit card with a $2,000 balance and a 20% interest rate. A HELOC loan, $25,000 at 6%. And then medical debt, $500 at 4%. Once you've completed your list, you're off to a great start. It's time to take things a step further by creating another list that breaks down a list of your monthly living expenses. Detail how much money you spend each month on everything from food to clothing to utility bills and your rent or mortgage payments. This sounds suspiciously like a budget, right? Well, you're not wrong. The idea here is to get a handle on how much money you make each month versus how much you absolutely have to spend on living expenses and minimum payments. You may even want to tweak your budget here in order to free up as much money as you can to pay off debt. Now that you know how much extra money you can set aside each month, it's time to decide on which strategy you want to use to become debt-free. So without further ado, let's look at the differences between the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods to help you choose the best option for you. Now, what is the debt snowball method? Yes, as you know now, the debt snowball approach works by lining up all of your debts from the smallest balance to the largest balance. One of the biggest pros of creating a debt snowball and sending it rolling down the metaphorical hill is watching your debts disappear one by one, and it's going to provide you that nice little psychological boost. Each time a debt is eliminated, you'll also end up with more money to put towards the next debt. Let's demonstrate how the debt snowball method works by imagining the plight of the familiar family. The familiar family is a young couple who just started combining their finances a few years ago. Recently, they added a baby to their family and their budget. As a result, they want to get serious about paying off their debt. Now, as you can see from these numbers on the screen here, the familiar family takes a look at their debts and decides that the debt snowball method sounds right for them. So they rearrange their debts, starting with the lowest balance and working their way down. After creating a solid budget, the familiar family learns that they can cover their living expenses, make the minimum payments on their debts, and pay an extra $200 towards their debt. If they follow through, they can cross their credit card debt off of their list in just a few months. But there's one important caveat. In order to keep the debt snowball from melting, they can't add more debt to the pile. More so, they might consider revisiting their budget often to try to increase their extra payments. This is especially important after a raise or another unexpected windfall. Okay, how does the debt avalanche method work? Well, the debt avalanche method, aka debt stacking, involves arranging your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. The idea is that by paying off higher interest debt first, you'll end up saving more money in the long run. Let's illustrate how the debt avalanche method works with the story of homeowner Hal and his wife Haley. Hal and Haley have decided the time has come to take care of their debts so that they can take the leap into entrepreneurship and possibly even part-time work. So they sit down and assemble a list of their debts, which looks something like this. Now, since Hal and Haley want to rid themselves of high interest payments as quickly as possible, they agree that the debt avalanche method is for them. So they proceed to rearrange their list with the highest interest debt at the top. After agreeing to set aside $500 extra each month, Hal and Haley proceed to chip away at Haley's credit card first, slowly but surely reducing the amount of interest it incurs each month. After they've successfully eliminated the card from the queue, they take their original $500 plus the $100 a month they no longer have to hand over to Haley's credit card company and begin putting $600 a month toward paying off Hal's card. As long as they follow the plan, they'll end up with $670 a month to pay off their car loan and $900 a month to pay off their student debt. By the time they reach the debt with the lowest interest rate, they'll have $960 a month to wipe out of their medical bills with no problem. In the end, no matter which debt repayment strategy you choose, as long as you stick with it, there's no stopping you from achieving your goals. While it may take time and discipline, there's nothing more rewarding than the freedom of living debt-free. To help you get started, I've assembled a collection of some of the best budgeting apps for families, each of which is packed with tools to help you manage your money. You can find that resource right here on this channel, and of course, we'll have it linked in our video description as well. Congratulations on taking the first step to overcoming debt, and best of luck along your journey. And if you need some help along that journey, I provide one-on-one coaching services. You can find more about that on my website at marriagekidsandmoney.com. This is Andy Hill from Marriage, Kids, and Money, signing off. Carpe diem.